so for those of us that's in UK, US, and abroad, how can we make the transition back home? And is it even a wise decision to make that transition back home?
Oh yeah, no doubt, man.
I've got my own problems.
I mean,
Guys,
it's definitely needed for us to go, no doubt. But you will get pinched. That one is no question. It's the people that when they get pinched for the first time, they run back. So when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. If you go there with your Western thinking, you will run back. You go there, you study the game, you see how it goes. Because you can't go there and say, oh, in London, this is how we do it. No, this is crap, man. We don't get down here. And me in Ghana, this is what I've seen. In Ghana, look, I know that the country is pay as to go. If you have money, things go faster for you. So why don't you know what I'm saying? You go somewhere that you don't want to join the queue, show me the money, boom, everything pop for you. You know what I'm saying?
I feel there's at least 10, 20 people on this call. We're all here. Jamaicans, we got Caribbeans, Ghanaians, Nigerians. We're all hiding in the West. Let's go back home with all the stuff we learned. But no one wants to do that because nothing works over there.
Michael, you go first and we'll follow.
Fimba has gone. He's run back here.
What?
Fimba, you ran back.
I'm not moving back home to Nigeria anytime soon. Perhaps when I'm 50, 60 or something like that. It is a dog eats what dog out there. Like, you got to understand that there are certain things, even when you're trying to handle some businesses with your people, your brothers, your cousins at home, they'll take your money, right, that you send them to do something for you, and they will use it to do something for themselves.
But hold on. Can I speak to that point? Can I just speak to that point real quick? I've heard that a lot of people have made those points before, and it's not fair. It's not fair statement, because even in the US and the UK, no matter where you are, if you're going to invest in business and you do not have proper oversight of your business, you're not in business. All right.
It's very easy to talk and say, yeah, let's go back to Africa and clean it up and train people up. How many of us have tried that and come back with our tails between our legs? I'm one of them.
Well, so what was your experience then? Like, if you don't mind sharing.
Firstly, my experiences are people, and this is the honest truth, our people are very comfortable in their environment. As bad as it is, they're comfortable. If they're not comfortable, they'll be out there protesting, demanding change.
What you mean back home?
Back home, as in Nigeria. Right. That's the real of it.
Back home, yeah.
So when you're coming from England and you want to go there and educate, they're looking at you as a Westerner.
Yeah.
What do you know that we don't know?
Okay, Reliance, he lives in Nigeria. Let Reliance.
Where's Reliance? Go on, Reliance.
First of all, I need to correct an impression. When you say Nigeria is a failed state, if Nigeria is a failed state, I think nobody will be living here. Nobody will be living in their house. People will be living in jungle. We have issues here in Nigeria. Agreed. But using the word a failed state, I think it's extreme. I think that is wrong.
Bro, you need to be real, man.
You don't have to. I'm very real. Hold on, please. Hold on. I never said there's issues in Nigeria. Well, we have power issues, we have unemployment issues, we have corruption issues. Yes, I agree. But using the word failed states, no, I don't agree. However, there's some people who are actually working on the ground to make this place better. It's difficult, yes, but you cannot compare the way the country was now to what it was 5-10 years ago. Tana has been in Nigeria for quite a while. She goes and comes. I know it has not been easy for her to do business here, but she has tried to stay and weather the storm. And that is all we ask for people. We don't say you should come here and think that you carry your magic wand and do flash, 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 and everything will be okay. No, even when you travel abroad, when people like us move abroad, it's not easy for us abroad. You need to take your time to understand the environment and try to blend before you start making miles. Facts. So when you stay abroad, you keep saying this is and this. A lot of people read those news, and maybe they make few calls and all, and they say, okay, this is this. There are some of us here back at home that are trying to make the country better. I'm a very dogged person in Nigeria here. And I do not like to take no for an answer. Whenever I meet stumbling blocks, I try to go around it and find the best way I can solve issues. And that is how it should be.
So are you saying that's what's needed in Nigeria? If you want to go back, you need to have, like, you know, a persistence, not taking no for an answer.
Yes. See, it's not only even in Nigeria. If you move from UK to Canada or US, things are not going to just move easily for you.
Right, it's a new environment.
Yes, you need to take your time to understand the environment and know what works for you here. See, my brother from Ghana made something. He said, look, when he knows he goes back to Ghana, he knows that there are some funny things that he could work out, that could go around, he could use to go around. Yes, you need to understand your environment and understand what works for you and what works for the environment.
I agree with some of the things you've said. So I also went to Nigeria after some, 10 years or 11 years abroad. But then, to my surprise, you see, I understand your philosophy of being dogged, and but unfortunately, statistics does not show, prove some of your statement. A lot of Nigerians have tried to come back home to do something for themselves, but most of them have gone back to where they came from.
Too many, man.
And I'm telling you, let's be honest. And that's just because, and the reason for that, the reason, and most of them were dogged. Most of them said, you know what, they were resilient about the fact that, look, this is my home, I love my country, and I want things to work. But it was just a mess.
I absolutely agree with what has been said in terms of some of the issues in Nigeria and constraints and being unable to succeed, i.e. electricity, staffing, people feeling entitled. But some of the people who have failed in Nigeria, if you check what they were looking for, they were reliant on somebody. Do you understand? A lot of the people that I speak to, they are all on my friend. My friend said that if I come, they'll hook me up. In England, how do we go for a job interview? Being reliant on our politician friend to get us that job at that job interview. We're not. So if you go to Nigeria,
great point.
If you go to Nigeria, with the
mentality, right?
Yes, with the mindset that somebody's going to hook you up, you will leave disappointed because you were reliant. If you go to Nigeria knowing that whatever the environment, throws at you, you will combat it, that's different. So we go there because somebody has sold us a false dream. We go there because we're waiting.
You haven't done your homework. You didn't do your homework before going.
Exactly.
We're waiting for a golden handshake. We're waiting for some contract because we want to go to Nigeria and want to hit it big. That's one side of it. And then, like, on the other side, just to in line with what the rest of you guys were saying, I get it. It's difficult. Electricity, you can't get. Data, everything is online now. You know how much money you're going to spend on trying to put things online, trying to do certain things. Staff, we're talking about these people who are going to China or wherever else for greener pasture, like Libya or wherever, looking for something else. Listen, one of the things I want to do in Nigeria is customer service, as you said, Rita. And another thing I want to do is training. Staff don't want to work. They don't want to work. One of the biggest issues in Nigeria that would wreck you are those people you want to create wealth, you want to create good things for. They would wreck you likewise. The same people we want to create better roads for, we want to, make things better for. They are the ones that would wreck you by their irresponsibility, by their own, they want to get it quickly. They want to steal small 5,000 naira and lose their 40,000 naira job. You understand what I'm saying to you? The same way some of us come into Nigeria wanting to hit it big, they are getting a job wanting to hit it big or wanting to get away with things as well. So maybe we look at our mentality and our way of thinking itself.
Yes. So that's what needs to change. All right, go on. Let's get Gloria in.
Okay, this is what I wonder whether we're not being too harsh on Africa, Nigeria, etc. The reason why I say that is most businesses fail regardless where you set them up. Whether you live in England, you're doing it here. Whether you leave it there, you're doing it there.
Starting and running a business is very difficult.
The reason why we're emotional about it is that when we leave here and go to Nigeria, we go to Nigeria entitled. So I'm supposed to make it. So therefore, when you're disappointed, you're not thinking, maybe it's my planning, maybe it's what I've done and not done. All of a sudden, it's just a system. There's roadblocks everywhere. You just have to figure it out. Because you know what? I know we always say, oh, loads of people go to Nigeria, it doesn't work. But there are some people where it does work for. Do you understand? It's not everyone, because like I said, most businesses fail regardless where it is. So sometimes it's about what have we done? Have we done our homework? And we done what we need to do to make it work?
All right, Tony, you had your hand up. Go on, Tony.
Yeah, just to go back on like tying up a couple of what Henrietta said, what Charlie said as well. It's like I feel like because I'm not African in it, so you lot are being a bit harsh on yourselves. in the way of yeah, like what he said before, some Africans are doing fraud. Some Africans are actually out in Africa doing good things.
Right.
You Africans are in England, I'm assuming it's because you feel like if you were going to make the next step, either you're not ready or you're preparing for that. Like what you're saying before, what's the point of, if you were going to go out there and do something, what's the point of going now if you're not ready now? You're just wasting your time and everybody else's time.
If you go into a place, it's just like you going to Rome, you must behave like Romans. Most of the way we do business in Nigeria, for instance, most of it is led by government, it's government-led. You go to a government office, you wait for the person for several hours, and when they come in, sometimes they tell you, okay, what do you have for us? You're supposed to bid for a contract or something. They don't want to listen, they just want you to something, it's just the way they do things there. So that's even with your own work, or that's the fact that somebody was saying business fail everywhere. I agree with you. I can agree with you more. But the point here is there's a uniqueness of the way people think everywhere you go.
Okay, so I'm going to speak on my experience. Now, I moved to Ghana in 2011 till 2015. Now, whilst I was there, I set up a business. I wasn't relying on anyone, but my determination was to go and succeed. It's not easy. You have to obviously make your own links, and people will make you.
No doubt.
Will make you promises. They will. They'll make you promises, but it's up to you to be smart with those promises. And yes, you will go and sit in the government's office for hours on end, just so a contract should be assigned to you.
Right.
And it went on for years. But while I was there, at the same time, trying to, succeed in my business, I was looking around to see what it is that can help, our economy for starters, and also the youth that are coming, right? And that basically prompted me to set up a company.
Other avenues.
So I set up a company called Open Gates Africa. Now, Open Gates Africa basically looks at the loopholes in Africa and try to merge it together. So all these African countries, we all have like factories and things that we do ourselves.
Right.
How do we move forward in terms of, building the media around that to showcase things that are happening in Africa? Do you see what I mean? So our people that live in the Western world can see that, oh, do you know what? I want to buy fabric. There's a fabric factory in Africa. I'm going to penetrate that. I'm going to use those. So that's how we can start. We can start by buying our own goods, buying our own product, using our own factories rather than going all the way to China to go buy the stuff. The Chinese people are in Africa. They set up factories. Africans are working in there. So why can't we? Egyptians have factories, manufacturing factories, fabric and all of that. Morocco, they're all in Africa. We need to start using our own. So therefore, when you're buying, but my only issue is what the government needs to really look at is the logistics. moving around Africa is very difficult.
I'm an offspring of Nigeria and I'm proud of it. I think in this conversation, we've given too much glory and unnecessary credit to the Western world. And what we've forgotten in this world is the fact that I've run business, at least I've been part of a few businesses in Nigeria. And I've run businesses in England. And I'll rather be in Nigeria any day. See, Nigeria is a capitalist. Straight up. You build your own castle in Nigeria, and I would rather have that. Our problem in Nigeria is because we are hungry. That's why half of the people beat you and try and get your money off of you. We don't pay well. The likes of us that take businesses to Nigeria, we come from England, and we still pay our drivers £100 a month, and we get angry the driver's stolen from us.
That is too much.
And we get angry that our house girl who gets 15,000 a month stole from us. Money that we would not spend on a date in Mayfair. I think the biggest problem and the biggest thing we need to acknowledge first is that we need to treat our fellow Nigerians. Listen, we don't come to England and exploit people. We abide by the minimum wage.
So what?
Thank you very much.
We think we're exploiting workers back home. Is that what you're saying?
We all fucking exploit people when we go to Nigeria. And this is not a self-righteous condemnation. I'm guilty too. I'm telling you as a matter of fact.
I'm not.
We went to Nigeria with this attitude, honestly.
Right.
I want one thing.
Agreed.
Charlie, you know,
right.
The minimum guy that works with me never got minimum wage.
Right.
If I go to Nigeria tomorrow, I want to pay them shitlings. I want to pay them pens. And that's not it. Look, a man who is not satisfied with his earnings, he will
find other ways, right?
Let's stop treating these people like they're not humans. They want to party. They want to buy Anna's hair. They want to buy a Lamborghini. They want to eat. We all come to the Western world. We take money to Nigeria. We take Bugattis to Nigeria. We don't take that organization, that system to Nigeria. And I think that's the first thing we are responsible. But if I run a business in Nigeria tomorrow, I would treat them the way I would have treated them in England. That's all I have to say.
All right. So let's go to Fimba.
Boy, this is what I like to say, yeah. You see the word obstacle, yeah. I think it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing. I went to Ghana, I got pinched. And I think for you to succeed in Africa, you have to get pinched. Because if you get pinched, then you know next time you know what to do. And next time when you come
When you say pinch, what do you mean by pinch?
Like, you know, let's say if you're going to, you're going to Ghana, right? You're going to Ghana, you're going to invest, you have 100,000. You have to know, like, at least 40,000 is out. 40,000 is for bribe, is for days, for this and that. There's
cost of doing business.
It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but Fimba, that's the way it works in the West, bro.
Let me land, bro.
All right, land. We got a lot of pilots in this group.
I know.
What I'm saying, yeah, like, no, you have to get it. I mean, the people over here, they don't start business and succeed straight away. They go through obstacles, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what we go. But we give up quick over there because we think, oh, the road is there's potholes or the light don't work. So we just say, you know, we're going to a comfortable, you know what I mean, life. But in Ghana or Nigeria, if you're, you know what I mean, your persistence and, you know, your focus and, you know, you have, you know, you will make it happen. Because me, I did once, it didn't happen. I came back, restructure, redo everything, and went back again. And it's looking good. I can't complain, and I'm looking to move.
No, I usually tell people who are abroad, if you want to come and set up a business in Nigeria, first of all, you should remember that you're coming from a place that is structured. Things work there. There's systems, there are policies that are in place and they work. The institutions work there. So if you are coming back into Nigeria, please always put back in your head, in the back of your head, you're coming into a place that is not like UK or US.
Right.
Two, if you are coming to set up a business in Nigeria or in any African country, please do your due diligence properly.
Absolutely.
Apart from doing your visibility study, do your due diligence. I work with a financial institution, and over the years, I found out that a lot of people who say they come back into Nigeria to come and do business, those do a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, do say I just say this business they boom for Nigeria. I get more money, I can set up the business for Nigeria without coming to do their due diligence and visibility study to know how it works.
I live in Nigeria, and I've heard everyone's point, from those who say we've come to Nigeria, tried to do a business, this, that, it failed, all of that. The truth is, most times when people come, like me, I always say, they're like, well, I just got back, right? That's the word. When you have all those, I just got back, come to Nigeria. A lot of people come into the system, right, with their shoulders lifted high. You want to come and do a business, you're not getting into the business to understand it. You cannot come from a structured economy to an economy that has its own ups and downs, and you expect things to work. You're coming from England that all you need to do is to top up your card and you have lights. To Nigeria, where whether you pay for electricity or not, there's no lights, and you want to run a business. Then when you're in Nigeria, you're doing a business or anywhere else, right? You've had to fuel a generator for so long. You're spending so much. Then you come back and say that it's not paying off. You get
Why
frustrated.
don't we have lights in Nigeria?
Well, why don't we have lights in Nigeria?
Okay, so basically for me, like the lady was talking about, when you go to Nigeria, there's an expectation. You live in the Western world, and we go to Nigeria in business, there's something they call culture. But unfortunately, because we come from Nigeria, we don't see certain things. So I want to just quickly use this experience. When I go to Haiti, everything I hear about Haiti is that, oh, it's a poor country, is this. But when I went there, I was looking at business opportunities. When most of us that were here, some of us tried, we want to design program. What program is designed to fill a gap. When we go somewhere, we see a gap. We want to do business to fill those gaps. But for me, what's his name? Charlie knows. Since I came to this country, I never have no business. My business, everything is in Nigeria, and I'm fine. The return on investment I get in Nigeria is better than what I would do if I invest. If I invest $50,000 here, the return on investment I get in Nigeria is better for me than invest $50,000 in America. So I think it's a matter of choice. Nigeria, if you think you want to do business in Nigeria, you think you cannot survive your business, take your business somewhere else. When we that are Nigeria, we keep complaining. Why are foreigners going into Nigeria and taking over our economy? Let's stop complaining. Let's go back and see areas of where our area is convergent. Let's look at areas that can bring us together. Let's stop talking about areas that will keep on separating us. Every time we meet together, Okefe is from the east, Nigeria, Rafi is from the south. Everybody, we keep on talking about Yoruba, Hausa, and all this. These are areas of things that will bring us apart. Let's look at how we can make it work.
Now, before we start deciding about if Nigeria is good and Nigeria is not, blah, 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 we all know there's certain things that needs to make a business grow.
Right.
Infrastructure, security, energy, government, all of these things. I can keep naming them. Now, it's quite unfortunate that we might be able to say that Nigeria hasn't really quite got there yet when it comes to those. So if you've got business in Nigeria right now, what are you going to be saying as regards your business? Can your business survive? Would you be able to progress? Now, let's take coronavirus out of the case for now and just say Nigeria on a normal day without pandemic. Now, Nigeria is a place where if you come from a rich family and you don't maintain certain status quo, you might not even be able to manage your business. And Nigeria runs in a certain structure, which is different from any other country. You can't bring the same mentality, like a gentleman said, from the UK and think you can just come to Nigeria and just say, because your friend says, oh, Nigeria works, you can da-da-da-da-da-da. I can guarantee you, it's not a cost, it's not a problem. If you're not well planned and you haven't done your research properly and you're not ready to get into the dirt, I'm sorry, you need to have a rethink. And if you think you can be in England and set up a business in Nigeria and say you've got a friend or a family to run it for you, I'll tell you as a fact, you are wasting your time.
Like I said from get-go, I know we have our own issues. However, things are not as bad as you think.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny where I hear people say Nigeria is still using typewriter, by using files. Well, I don't understand. When last did you go to any ministry, for Christ's sake? When last did you call any ministry to talk to them and they'll tell you that they need to move your files? Please, if you don't know, a lot of things have moved digitally in all the ministries. I'm saying this with facts. See, in the last few years, the government has been begging for foreign investments. For people like you and I, who have people outside to bring their businesses to Nigeria. Now, if the government is pleading, the only thing we can ask is that, okay, make conducive environment for us to bring our businesses to Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Now, I keep asking, we're in 2020. You compare 2020 to 1991? Of course not. We still have the problem of power. Yes. And I can guarantee you that power has a lot of problems, apart from corruption, sabotage, and deliberate things by people not to make that sector work. People talk about bad government. I ask a simple question. The people in government, do they fall from Mars?
No, the people deserve the government that they get.
Exactly. So the people in government are from the environment which me and you live in.
Absolutely, I agree.
So you cannot be pointing out to government and say it is government, it's government. It is me and you that has these same crazy people who are up there. Secondly, Sammy made mention of something. The poverty level in Nigeria is real. We do not have, forget all the data you say we have 200 and something million people. I can guarantee you that those things are lies. We don't have proper data in Nigeria. The level of poverty is so real.
Right, it is.
Very, very real that it will make you somebody to sell his conscience for 500 naira. It will make somebody to sell his conscience for 150 naira. And that is what we are praying. We're only praying that, look, forget electricity, forget roof. Can we do something? Just one project. Just one project. Food. If food is surplus, every other thing will fall in place. See, I live in a gated state here, and my fear every day is that this pandemic will not go overboard, because a lot of people are already getting tensed.
Right.
And if people get tensed and come up to the street, forget the nonsense gates and the issues they have here. Seriously, they will swoop into the place. Mm-hmm. So let us make food available for people first. Secondly, why is it that everybody that wants to come from outside, who wants to come and do business here in Nigeria, wants to do business with government? Everybody, how many people have we spoken to right now that talking about doing contract with government? How do you start your own business?
That's a point. Thank you. That's
why is everybody talking about government?
God bless
start your own business.
Lord Riley, God bless you.
Why don't you start your own business?
Because they are thieves. They are thieves. They want to go where the money. They are thieves.
Exactly.
They are thieves. I know we could spend the whole day discussing about this issue, and everybody will be rating Nigerian issue based on their experiences. And I know no matter what experience we have, either bad or good, for us, some of us who have a bad experience, there's no need for us, even some of us who have good experience, there's no need for us to close our eyes from other things that are not working.
Right.
Some things work, some things are not working. Good. Now, the whole essence of this, I don't want us to just be spending our time. We all of us, as we are talking now, we work for an organization, and they pay us for something. Fix a problem, identify it, then fix it. Even though we can't change it, let's begin to look into discussing what are the way forward for us.
Absolutely.
Because I see many of us, we are talking, I know some of us, we want to change things. We want things to work. Even with somebody said, oh, let's leave government alone. Let's look within ourselves. What can we do to change things? Let's look at how we can begin to see what are the solutions. What can we do? What can we do to make it right? What are the solutions are we talking about right now? Rather than just be critiquing and talking about what are the areas that is making us go different ways.
So what are some of your ideas? Do you have any ideas that you want to put forward?
You see, you can't give what you don't have. Somebody is coming from a corrupt system. What do you expect from that person? So the best thing now is that we need me, you, every one of us talking. The first thing we have to start working is how do we begin to change the mentality of people close to us about how things should be.
So how do we do that? How do we do that?
Let me give you an example. An average Nigerian, even outside Nigeria, you know, there's a different culture when we live in Nigeria. An average Nigerian, even outside Nigeria, we don't even trust each other. We don't even want to do business with each other. We don't want to. You see me outside, you say, oh, plus, let's do this thing. I'll be like, oh, that's a Nigeria. Oh, no, I don't want to. This is it means even within ourselves, we don't even trust each other. All this has to change. We have to, I think that's the primary. That is where we have to change. We need to reorientate ourselves about doing things right.
I think, first of all, the family is very key. When I talk about the family, I don't mean your blood family. Could be your friends, your colleagues. Try to talk to them, engage them. This is a family. Well, the group we are right now is a family. And no matter what we discuss right now, I'm sure everybody in this group want the best for Africa. And so if this group decide that, look, from today, I will change my orientation, my personal orientation, whether it was good or bad, I will change my orientation. And that everybody that is close to me, I will try to talk to them. And say, look, we need to change our orientation. That is the start. And we need to localize all our knowledge. Localize our knowledge.
What do you mean by that?
Read whatever thing you read abroad, whatever book or knowledge you have abroad, you need to localize it. Let us know what is the problem in the locality and what I have learned abroad. How can I localize it? If I could send a video to the group, there was a woman that works with WHO who was talking about irrigation and how WHO was bringing irrigation from foreign irrigation into African countries. And she mentioned Niger Republic. And they found out that the foreign irrigation system that they brought into Niger Republic was failing. But the local irrigation system of Niger Republic was working. Better. So they needed to study it.
Man, yo, why are we disrespecting Africa like this, man? You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be doing that. We all African, bro. When we step out, the white man, yo, a poor white man will let a rich black man know that you're not from here, bro. So regardless of what we do, we're not from here. Wherever it is down there in Africa, that's what we have. There's nothing we can do. That's what we have. We should take what we have and you know what I'm saying, build towards it. We shouldn't try to say that it's bad for some people, no doubt. But everybody's different. Me and you can go to Togo. You might not like Togo. I might like it. You know what I'm saying? So if you go there and you don't like it, don't think that, oh, then everybody else will not like it. You know what I'm saying? I went out there the first time. I got pinched. I came back, restructured. I'm loving it. You know, I'm supposed to be going back very soon, but this corona just corona my ass down here. You understand? So,
go on.
I think for me, we need to think about what we're investing in. What businesses are we going to Nigeria? We've established that trying to go for contracts, all well and good. But when you go for contracts, half of the time you won't be able to do the job that you want to do anyway, because they're going to take half of your money for bribery. You've got to pay somebody, which means that you've fallen into that vicious circle and you're not doing what you should be doing. So what I feel is... So
are you saying stay away from government contracts?
I'm saying that you will find yourself done. Because first and foremost, you wouldn't have the money, the funds that you're supposed to get. First, you've got to use your own funds to do it. time, or they'll give you part of the money. You've got to use your own funds. Something's going to happen some way along the line. You're going to get burnt. You're going to hate it. And they're going to take money from you as well, which then means, again, you will deprive people, because then the job that you will do will be inferior to what you ought to do, because now you don't have that much money. You want to make money, right? So I think when we're going to Africa, and I'm glad Ryan said it, I wanted to say it, but he did. Forget this contract. If you can get a contract guaranteed, then it's good, and you will be able to deliver, and you don't want to become like politicians who are robbing us and all of that, then, you know, if you're not going to find yourself in that situation, then go for contracts. But what I'm saying now hereby is that go for, I think there is so much innovation. People are doing so many things out there. You can be in America, you can be in England and make a difference. Everybody's online nowadays. I see so many young doing so much from afar. So even if you don't want to go to Nigeria and find yourself, you know, in some sort of a mess, try something online. See what you can do online. See if you can train people. See whatever you can do on whatever platform that is available. And then second, just be a bit more creative in terms of what you're doing, and find a niche and a gap, and try it, because it will work. But so long as you're not overly reliant, on the system, or so long as you understand what you need to be able to be successful.
Those are really thinking about moving back. It is more so about what is it that you have a passion for, that you want to do for the country, for your state, or for people who are the downtrodden. And if it, you know, you can build a school, you can build a clinic. There are other things, you know, you can build a skill.
Right, just solve a problem, basically. Solve a problem.
Right, to solve some problems. So it's not necessarily you know, everything that has to involve, you know, the government contract and whatnot.
Yeah, just a quick one, man. There's been so many good points. In terms of people wanting to do business in Nigeria, for instance, or Africa, most people are not trying to help the country, for starters. They are actually just trying to make money. But at the end of the day, business is business. If you haven't mastered the terrain or your business plan, it's not going to work. If you've not been successful in America, you've not been successful in the UK, you're not going to be successful in Nigeria or Ghana. So people are just looking for a way out. Plus, no one's going to help you in business. Facts. I don't care what country you're in, no one is going to help you. And me, as a Black British, I don't know about all of you lot, but we're stuck in the middle of a rock and a hard place, because in a sense, we're like, oh, when you're in the States or you're in England, there's a ceiling, or there's like you're British, but you're not English. So you still get a white man asking you where you're from. So, so at the end of the day, the way I see it, whether we like it or not, Africa's all we got, like Fimba said earlier. So, you know, and that myth that Black people can't work together is a lie. Black people can work together. Many of us have got business partners which are Black. We're doing business all around. So we just got to figure it out. Stop complaining. Start making things happen. You know. Yeah, that's
perfect. Let me go to Peter. Great point, Mike. Go on, Peter.
What I tend to find is that there are some Black businesses, there are companies, and there are people actually putting their resources and skills back into Africa. But what tends to happen is that your fellow Africans or your fellow Black people, they always want to try and find out how they can get a discount from you, how they can get a mate's rate. They will never, ever, no, I'm being serious. They will never, ever do that if it was a Western company offering the same service. They'll take the price, they'll pay the price, no problem. But the second they see a fellow Black person or trying to do the same thing, my brother, they can like, what's your last price? What discount can you give me? Mate's rates, family rates. They make all these concessions because they don't rate your business. And I think that mentality also needs to change. We need to be able to see a Black business and think of it in the same way that we respect like our Western counterparts. Like,
but it's not, to be fair, it's not just even Western counterparts. So an example is if you go to like a market in Nigeria and, you know, you barter with them. But if you go into a ShopRite, even in Nigeria, you pay whatever price that they've got.
And that lays the problem, because the people who have the shops, they don't need your money as much as the people who are hustling, waking up day and night, going all hours trying to.
But how do we address that? So do you just pay? You always pay the asking price then?
Yeah, there has to be a mutual trust. You have to pay the asking price, but also realize that the asking price isn't trying to rip you off as well, because it's a double-sided coin.
So then it comes back to trust, like having the trust.
You need to build that
they're charging you
trust
what it's really worth.
Yeah, and also to value Black-owned businesses.
And it's also about changing the narrative of who we are, and that we can achieve things, and we're good, we're confident, we're worthy. And it's really about changing and putting and instilling that into every single one of us. It's like buy Nigeria, buy Ghana, because you have confidence in what is being produced in that place. So it's about confidence and changing the narrative of all this negativity to an extent that we've discussed here. So we also have to change that, because if we keep talking negative of Africa, so will other people.
Charlie, can I add to that quickly? Forgive me. We need to give ourselves a chance, right? Look how many car companies, whatever companies, they recall shit. So if you buy from a Black person and it's not right, give them a pointer, but don't, bad press goes far, right? So if you patronize each other and support each other, go back again, like give them pointers.
So giving feedback to these companies, basically.
Give them feedbacks, constructive,
right.
As opposed to, oh, this is what I do about Black business. Oh, that's why I like that Indian shop. Oh, that's why you both shop. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So if you go to Peckham and you find one shop opened by a Black selling groceries, try it out. Do you know what I mean? If their attitude is stink, let them know and give them a second time.
All right. Great point. Go ahead, Ade.
What we can do actually is have a whole community area where we have loads of Black people living there, opening businesses, have our own banks, hospitals and stuff, and we can exchange the money within ourselves. Yes, that way we can make sure the money is passing all within our community first before it actually goes out. Trust me, that will go a long way. This helps the Chinese. If you go to Chinatown, you see a whole community that has everything within that little small, millions of pounds that goes through there. The Jewish do the same. There's other people as well, they do the same. So I think Africa needs to start thinking like that.
Pakistan, they do the same.
They do the same. The Pakistani, yes, and Indians, they have the community where they share money. They might not have the bank's future, but there's a way they have a system where they have the kids going to the same nurseries, the same everything. So the money goes within.
Right.
That way they get richer.
Letting the money circulate in our communities
yes.
a lot longer. All right, listen, guys. It has been real. I
knew you were going to say that.
It has been so real, I'm telling you. I love that everybody had so much to share on this. Listen, thank you very much, everyone. It's been great. Enjoy your Sunday, your weekend, and stay safe.